Eddie Munson became an instant fan favorite character after his introduction in the 4th season of Stranger Things. He has amassed more fans than any other new character on the show. Unfortunately, this beloved character didn't last long. He died a heroic death in the Upside Down. Fans have been mourning his death for almost 3 months now, and now even the producers have brought it up. Keep watching to learn more about what the producers said. First of all, what did the producers reveal about Eddie's fate? Producers are still considering which characters will return for the anticipated 5th and final season of Stranger Things. Forget other characters. Most fans of the popular Netflix show are simply waiting for the tiniest hint that Eddie will return. Luckily, we've heard a bit about what we can expect from Eddie in the later seasons from Sean Levy, a primary producer on the series. But before you get too excited, just keep in mind that there are no promising details about his return. During the Emmys, The Hollywood Reporter caught the producer on the red carpet. He spoke to them in an interview where he gave out some insight about what we could expect for the final season. And of course, it wasn't long until he moved to the fan favorite topic, Eddie Munson's return. The producer was quite candid about the topic and said that it's highly unlikely that Eddie would return in season 5. He mentioned that the creators and crew behind Stranger Things weren't expecting the character to become so popular after his first appearance in just 1 season. Sean also acknowledged that there are plenty of fans who can't understand the concept of Eddie not returning for the 5th and final season of the series. Next up, what do the fans believe? Fans are not ready to let go of the creator of the Hellfire Club. They've come up with so many theories, and honestly, if you open Twitter, there's a new theory every other week. That's how loved the character was. To bring their favorite character back to life, theories suggest that he might not make a triumphant comeback. They believe he might act as Dustin's inner voice as the Hawkins group fights the supernatural forces of the Upside Down. Several fans have also put forward the theory, which will also stay true to the Dungeons & Dragons story of the Mind Flayer. The fans have a feeling that the heavy metal lover would return as Vecna's fictitious ally. Coming up, what can we expect for Eddie? The creator of Stranger Things aren't shy about supposedly killing characters and then revealing that they were alive the whole time. We're looking at you, Jim Hopper. An explosion in the Russian underground labs of Starcourt Mall seemingly blew up Hopper in front of our eyes in Season 3. That tear-jerking scene was just one of the tricks pulled off by the writers since the chief of police survived the explosion. Similar to his death was Max Mayfield's death in the 2nd volume of the 4th season. Vecna managed to twist her arms and legs backward when she was in the trance. Fortunately, Eleven's powers brought her back to life, and she's in a coma and paralyzed. So maybe we can expect Eddie to survive all those Demobat bites and find his way back home from the Upside Down? It seems like a reach after what the producers have said, but we can still hope. Moving on, the 10 best Eddie Munson scenes in Stranger Things. Starting at number 10, his entrance scene. The show introduced Eddie Munson to viewers in the school cafeteria. He was hanging out with Mike and Dustin and some other members of the Hellfire Club. The scene begins with Eddie reading a news report about the alleged threats of Dungeons & Dragons, sarcastically. After he finished making fun of the ludicrous story, he continues with a motivational lecture about stereotyping. Jason Carver, a rich jock, cut in to threaten Eddie as he was giving his speech. Eddie responds to the threat in true Munson form by posing like the devil with his tongue out. The pose is a signature classic Eddie pose now. Well, the first scene of Eddie Munson proved he wasn't acting under anyone's expectations. At number 9, when Eddie comforted Chrissy. One thing the fans appreciated was how Eddie connected with Chrissy Cunningham, the top cheerleader at Hawkins High School. One of the most popular girls at the school, but she had many problems at home. When Vecna took advantage of her, it made her suffering even worse. When she first felt Vecna's curse, she turned to Eddie, after thinking that some would comfort her. Eddie gave her the but he also helped her out. The two connected and had a wholesome conversation about their middle school days. At number 8, the D&D game. Eddie was super doubtful when the boys substituted Lucas with Erica for D&D. He didn't want to babysit the child, but after she showed off her snarky attitude and D&D expertise, he was happy to have her on the team. Eddie forebodingly laid the stage for the players' conflict with the dreadful Vecna and his followers. The D&D gang huddled up to discuss their options, taking chances or running away. "There is no shame in running," Eddie said during the tense scene. He's the grand master of the dungeon in the scene. For number 7, Chrissy's awful death. Vecna put Chrissy into a trance when the two reached the trailer. Chrissy wanted something more than marijuana to contend with Vecna's mental attacks. Eddie was looking for the pills, and when he came back, he found Chrissy floating in the air. Unfortunately, Vecna had captured Chrissy. Eddie watched her arms and legs twist. He left his trailer screaming after watching Chrissy's terrible demise. Coming up at number 6, he connected with Steve. The older members of the gang went to search for a gate to the Upside Down inside the lake. At first, Eddie had no desire to go down to the gate and was happy to let Steve handle the diving. He also attempted to talk the women out of going. Still, he bravely gave in and eventually made his way down, but he complained the entire time about how it is. When they found the entrance, they were running through a group of demobats, but still Eddie praised Steve for how metal he is. Next up at number 5, Eddie's disguise. The Hawkins group needed to load up on supplies and weaponry for their battle. Eddie hesitated to move around freely since he was still being suspected of Vecna's murders, so Max helped him with a disguise to conceal his face. A tuft of shaggy brown hair and a threatening white face appeared around a corner as the next thing viewers saw. Eddie's mask was the Michael Myers mask that Max wore on Halloween. Moving on to number 4, his heart-to-heart moment with Dustin. Eddie and Dustin hammered nails through metal trash can lids to make shields for their battle against Vecna. Eddie had a positive attitude and even declared, "There will be no more retreating from Eddie the Banished," to which Dustin returned one of his famously terrible puns. Dustin was shocked when Eddie tackled him while looking at him as though he had said something absurd. The two wrestled and eventually had a touching conversation. Eddie asked Dustin to never change. The two had a brotherly friendship. This scene was a great example of the metalheads' wholesome interaction with the other nerds. Now for number 3, this is music. This is easily a top 5 amongst fans. The friends flocked inside Eddie's RV. Nancy was under Vecna's curse and the team was looking for her favorite song. The only thing that would save her from his curse, Robin was desperately looking through Eddie's room for a record that will help Nancy from Vecna's control. The high-stress situation had Eddie asking Robin, "What are you looking for?" To which a stressed Robin yelled, "Madonna, Blondie, Bowie, the Beatles, music. We require music." That's when Eddie shouted, "This is music." His iconic dialogue made it to TikTok as a trend where users defend their questionable favorite music. For number 2, his metal performance of Master of Puppets. While Steve, Robin, and Nancy attempted to smuggle themselves into Vecna's house, Eddie and Dustin were responsible for creating a distraction. Eddie's diversion was a fantastic guitar solo performed on the upside-down model of his instrument. The performance was in true metalhead fashion, and it was successful, as all the demobats made their way toward the two. Before he started singing Metallica's Master of Puppets, Eddie dedicated the song to Chrissy. The crucial moment has gone down in the show's history as one of the most memorable. Finally, his heroic battle with the demobats. Even though he wasn't familiar with the Upside Down, he fought a brave battle with the demobats. After luring them with his incredible performance, he bought the others time as he stayed back in the Upside Down to protect his friends. He was tired of running away and wanted to face his fears for once. He pulled out his spear and shield, blocking and slashing the demobats for as long as he could. When he gave up and was close to death, he admitted to Dustin, "I didn't run away this time, right? It was awful watching our favorite character die." That's a wrap for this video. Are you still hopeful about Eddie's return? What was your favorite Eddie Munson scene? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you at the next one.